Okay, Dennis.
Yes, yeah.
We've been in the EV game for a bit now.
A little bit, yeah.
We've we've been talking about these cars that are now coming around town for years. They're not new. They've
Mm-hmm.
all been in development for many years, but
Mm-hmm.
it's finally near the time where they're actually hitting production, hitting the dealers, and are on their way to people's homes.
You would hope.
You have Rivian starting production soon and deliveries within the next 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Maki starting, they've already started production, starting deliveries by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
iPace has already started. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which EV, regardless of timeline, which announced EV with announced specs are you most excited for?
Uh, you know, before I get into that, I just want to say that whilst we've been talking about a lot of these cars for years, it feels like some of them just haven't been getting any closer to their reveal. I feel like they're in a continuous state of flux of being constantly delayed. Uh, with in 2018 the car was supposed to come out in 2020, and now in 2020 and the car is not going to come out till 2021 or 2022. So that's a bit disappointing when you're constantly waiting so long for other automakers to get their electric cars out on the road. With that being said, obviously it's a very hard question because there's so much coming out, and the problem is uh, almost no one knows what the final product of their own car is going to be in terms of even final designs, final ranges, or anything like that. Obviously, this is going to be a question with a lot of bias. I hope you understand that my opinions are my opinions and will be biased towards things that I'm biased towards. So you may or may not know, I'm a I'm an Audi guy. I like Audis. I don't know if you heard that. Four ring gang. And I saw the e-tron GT. It was about a year back. I was like, that looking pretty nice. And when I learned that it was essentially going to be co-developed with Porsche, my other brand that I like, I was like, wow, that's like two things I like in one. And so that seems to be like the perfect car for me to get excited about. Obviously, the Porsche came out, and to lukewarm reviews in the range department. But I mean, driving dynamics and all that stuff was there. Price was obviously a big issue with when you look at the Taycan. So those two things have kind of watered down my excitement a little bit. Obviously, the Audi should be less expensive than a Porsche, and
Isn't it on the same platform?
this
Isn't
is
it
saying,
just a Taycan with a new body?
see, I really hope not, because I don't understand why it would take 2 additional years for them to make it. So whilst they do share a platform, I'm hoping there might be some battery development, some motors perhaps, because otherwise I don't see why it would have taken them 2 to 3 years, because I don't even know the final release date of the e-tron GT to come out with basically the same car but a different body. Because we've seen the prototypes, the body has been made. It's not like it takes them 3 years to make a body. So that's why I'm still excited for. On the more utilitarian side, obviously Cybertruck looks super dope. I'm a fan of the cyberpunk aesthetic. So that's obviously a car to be excited for. And I mean, those would be my two. I mean, I would say the Rimac is cool, but there's it's so far out of reach that it's hard to get excited over something like that. But I mean, the performance that Rimac wants to come out is absolutely eye watering. So that's always a fun car to keep up with. And then I guess in the same vein, the Roadster, if it ever comes out, Tesla Roadster definitely looks is an exciting car, especially if Elon is actually serious about a SpaceX package with little air pressurized thrusters all over the cars. That's I'm excited to see that, just from a, I don't know, just to see what kind of mayhem that car can cause. What about you?
Well, I think the top of everyone's list is going to be Tesla, the Cybertruck, and somewhat the Roadster.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are excited about Rivian.
Yeah.
Rivian really made a lot of news in the last years of development.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a great looking truck with great specs.
Small bed though, but it's not. It's how you use it though.
Personally, I think the one I'm most excited for has got to be the Mach-E. It's not probably not a car I'll ever own, but I feel it's going to be up there in sales, and it's going to be nice to see a car as much as I see Tesla on the roads every time I go out. Another EV. It's going to be the first EV that's going to be easily recognizable
What about a
and
Mach-E
not
you like?
look like butt.
That it's a hopefully successful car that's not Tesla, or the design,
Just the fact that it's another EV on the road, it's another option. It's something that doesn't give EVs a bad name, like
mm-hmm.
ugly cars like the Chevy Bolt or the Nissan Leaf. It's a great looking car, one they plan to sell a lot of. So hopefully, it's not an eyesore when I go out in my day and see 25 Teslas and, one Mach-E might make my day.
Boy, you're gonna be jumped by the Nissan Leaf gang. And that club's in the 6 digits. You better watch your back. You don't know where they are.
Isn't there another Nissan Leaf coming up too? A crossover?
The Nissan Aria? That one looks
Yeah.
cool. But I'm I'm not the biggest crossover guy. So
I don't know if you saw, Ford is actually planning a second car on the Mach-E platform.
you were the one that actually told me that. So I don't know why you're asking me if I heard. Uh, did they say what kind of segment it would be? Is it going to be another crossover
Uh,
or?
I'm unsure. I mean, I'd imagine it would be a crossover
Hmm,
or something larger.
I don't feel like they want to double dip
You think they're going to go smaller for the price tag?
or bigger. I feel given the current consumer likes, I feel like the Mach-E is pretty much the smallest they can get away with.
I don't know. I feel like with the low range that it has, relatively low range that it has, I don't
Mhm.
think they can go bigger without some massive battery development because it'll cut range a lot. Weight and
Just,
aerodynamics will really cut that down.
just make the whole car out of plastic. Simple.
Some
Is
other cars that are out, the BMW, one your
oh
favorite
the
car.
oh my god! If I can talk about a car that I'm not excited about, oh my lord! Okay, I'm gonna have a little rant here. I'm sorry. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's an Audi guy, so he must hate BMWs," and that's not true, right? I like BMWs, but just BMW's current brand design as a whole is abysmal to me. They took their signature little kidney grills and turned them into straight up lungs that take up the entire portion of the car, and I think it looks like two buck teeth on every single car that they make. And the new iNext, which is now called the iX, um, which I don't know if they want me to pronounce it as iX or I10, and they're trying to make it a Roman numeral. I don't know. I don't care. Uh, it looks trash. It looks like trash. I'm gonna say it. You can at me once again at EVBite on Twitter. Um, it does not look good. It does not look good. It looks disproportionate. The wheels look too small. The lights are all too narrow, and they don't look narrow in that way where it's kind of a cool cyberpunk vibe. They just look kind of squinted all the time. Like the car doesn't even know where it's going. And those stupid grills in the front, you don't even need them because it's an electric car, but they still put ginormous grills in the front. You are allowed to not put grills in the front of the car. Um, Interior though, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Whoever's the interior designer, I'll give him credit. Whoever's the exterior designer, I don't want to see him ever in my life. That is a car that I just am not excited about whatsoever. But I will be looking forward to the i4. So
It seems we're both on the train of design versus functionality. And I think most are, with the Cybertruck being the most popular again. Everyone's
hmm
excited to visually see these cars on the road. How do you feel about the performance? Do you think it
well,
matters in terms of, wanting to see them come out?
I feel like we're at an acceptable baseline where if you have 250, 300 miles, like that's pretty good for basically anyone. And we're at that point where basically any promised electric car in the future is going to deliver at least that much. So we can now not have to compromise designs because of I want range that's not like 100 miles or something. So now we can look towards the other aspects of a car that we used to look at back when we did gasoline cars and we didn't have to really worry about range. So with that being said, yeah, I feel like design, at least personally, will play a bigger part in determining which electric car I would want to own. Um, Obviously, when it is a sports car and it markets itself as a sports car, performance is going to be important. Obviously, if you're going out of your way to buy a sports car, you want a respectable 0 to 60 time or a good top speed or good handling like that. But I feel like as the average EV has decent specifications, design will be looked at more than it did in the future. Because I look at the Nissan Leaf. I mean, big ups to big ups to my Nissan Leaf owners, but I mean, you know what you're driving.
A car that has great specs that personally I don't, not a fan of the look of, is
Mm-hmm.
Lucid. Do you think? Well, first of all, do you like the Lucid? Do you like
I
its
told you,
design?
I told you I liked how the Lucid looks. I like that little funky trunk roof line it got going on. That
Yeah, but
the
you're weird. You like ranch versus blue cheese, so your opinion is kind of.
I'm a Pepsi over Coke type of guy. We can.
Do
I enjoy it. I like how it looks.
you think at any point, it, some people prefer performance over looks? Do you think anyone likes Lucid solely because of how good their numbers are?
Yeah. I feel. I mean,
Or is it a minority?
I don't know if it's a minority, but for instance, like when the Porsche came out and the Model S came out, or well, was continuing to be like 400 miles at that point. I 100% appreciated the Porsche design much more. One, because I've been seeing the same Tesla for 8, 9 years or whatever at that point, and two, I like Porsches, but that's besides the point. But the performance difference is so vast between those two cars in essentially any metric, and the price was much lower, obviously, in the Tesla. That no matter how much more uh, I liked the design of the Porsche and how it looked inside and out, unless I had literal infinite money, I don't think I would feasibly pick the Taycan over the Model S with money being an issue. So I feel like there are cases where people will go over performance over design.
That brings in another good topic that ties into this hoping to see topic we have here. We last year we saw the Taycan go up against the Model S, like you just said, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a few more EV competitions coming up. You have the Model Y versus the Mach E,
Mm-hmm.
the electric F-150 versus the Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Model S
necessarily cars to be excited about. Model S versus the Lucid.
Lucid, yeah.
But are you
So,
excited for which competition are you most excited for? Cyber
ooh,
versus the Rivian as well.
ooh, oh, there's a lot of good competitions coming out.
Who are you excited to see in the ring? And who do you think will
I'm
win?
I, I'm excited for. Mm, I it's a tie. Well, I don't know if it's a complete tie, but I'm looking forward to Lucid versus Model S and F-150 versus um the Cybertruck, because Lucid has been basically the first car to ever at a moment at time beat the Model S at a certain metric, right? So that was mind blowing to a lot of people. Like, whoa, they finally have some competition. So I want to see how that pans out, and if they can actually have a decent competitor to the Model S. And then Ford versus Cybertruck. We all know Ford is basically built on their trucks and the Mustang. But when you think of a Ford, you typically think of an F-150 or equivalent. And they've been selling trucks for decades upon decades. That is their lifeblood. So I want to see how much effort they will put in to hope to retain their best selling car in America model, because F-150s sells like hotcakes. I'm sure they want to keep that title moving into the electric age. So I think that's going to be a pretty good fight to see.
I think I'm most excited to see where the Cybertruck actually fits in this market. Because as a truck, it's a good truck, but it's not the best truck. It doesn't compete with like a F-250 or a 350.
Right.
Same with Rivian. It's more of a luxury truck. What type of customer these cars are gonna get? Will the truck person stick with a electric F-150 or just a regular gas F-150?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they willing to move towards a Cybertruck, or will a Cybertruck just be a niche vehicle for the Tesla fans or those who just want to look cool? That's what I'm excited for, to see where that car fits.
Yeah, that's gonna be. We might see a split off, a split in the truck market, with like
Well, there's always been a
luxury
split in the
showy.
truck
Yeah,
market.
but I feel like
Not
it's
all
gonna
truck
get
people use trucks. That's
right. No.
something that needs to be said.
No, that's true. That's true. But I feel like the market of people that buy a truck but don't use it to its full capability will grow with things like Rivian and the Cybertruck, and it'll be like a more equal balance between the people that actually have a truck because they need to haul 2x4s all over the city, and people that just want a nice big imposing car.
Well, if it was free, which future car are you putting a reservation for?
If it was free, I'd be getting a Roadster with rockets.
I don't know. The
I
Roadster just seems. It might be the car I'm least excited for. The
I
specs
mean,
aren't anything mind blowing.
bro, really?
It
1.9
is, but
seconds is not mind blowing to you?
not so
250,
much where it's worth the twice the price of a Performance S or now the Plaid
sir.
S.
Sir, you told me if it was free. Let's not get it twisted. You said if it was free. I said if it was free. I'm assuming
it's a small car. It's I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
not practical, but I'm like a 10-year-old at heart, right? And I know Elon remembers its existence, because I know you saw a couple days ago they took it off the site, and everyone's like, "Yo, Elon, where's the Roadster?" And he's like, "Oh, my bad.
I
We
think if
fixed
it
it."
was free, I'd still go the Plaid S over a Roadster, even at free.
Yeah, but
More
you
practical.
you like space and you like practicality. I don't mesh with those type of things, right? I got no
You're a
friends.
tipsy
My
guy.
groceries can be in the passenger seat.
Well, that's what you have a robo taxi for, just to do
Yeah,
your Walmart pickup.
exactly. Right? Well, yeah, Plaid Model S. Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot
That's
about the
another
Plaid
one.
Model S, actually.
What's the
To be
0 to
honest with
60 on that one?
he's under 2
Point
seconds.
under 2 seconds, so it's just about the same.
Yeah, but it's so
For
big.
exactly.
We have different
I feel like the
priorities.
Roadster needs to be dulled down a lot. Make it 300-mile range or 400-mile range. Give it the 0 to 60 comparable to like a Performance Model S, and cut the price tag in half. I
I,
think
I,
as a convertible, more realistic price point car, it would do fantastic.
I
But
can't
for a
get.
$250,000, I can't get behind that being something comparing it to a Lamborghini or Ferrari. I can't see it.
I can't get Plaid Model S because I can't keep seeing the Model S. I can't see the Model S for another 10, 11 years. It's a fine design, but I want something new.
Hopefully it has some changes, because we did see when they ran the Nuremberg, it had a body kit on, it had a big wing on, and we technically still haven't seen its final form. So hopefully there is a few design changes with it. Hopefully the Plaid Model S comes with a full Model S refresh.
This isn't even my final form.
Which Tesla refresh are you most excited for?
Model S.
Model S?
For facts, it's 2012. All we had is a different grill. I think it's time, inside and out.
I know it's an old design, and I agree it's time, but I don't feel the Model S is dated. I still think it looks like a great car, and I'd still buy a new one tomorrow.
I'm right with you.
I'm actually going to say that I'm more excited for a Model 3 or a Model Y refresh, because I'm just not with the design point that they took there.
Nah, I'm fine with the Model 3. If I just, I love Cooler Ranch Doritos, but if I could eat Cooler Ranch Doritos every single day, man, I'm gonna not like Cooler Ranch Doritos as much, even though they're a fine chip. I just want a different looking car. I understand that is no longer their money maker and their vastly lower production numbers than the 3 and Y, but oh man, I just want to see something new.
A larger Tesla SUV coming and a compact car coming. Don't forget those in this.
And the small truck. Don't forget.
And the smaller truck. There's a lot to get excited over. There's going to be a lot of opinions. It's really hard to pick one. There's a lot coming. There's always a lot coming, of course.
There's always something coming. There's always
something coming. I'm sure half the cars that are currently coming will not come.
Will not even come.
But there's a lot to wait for. Just
delayed.
There's a lot to live for.
Put under a different name, not even the same car anymore. But yes, a lot to live for. If you are an EV fan, we have barely scratched the surface. There's so much more to come.
Yeah.
I hope.
Volkswagen wants how many cars in the next 10 years? BMW wants how many? Cadillac want to make a full transition. Bentley wants to make a full transition. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, but
a lot more to come.
A lot of these companies have set 2025 as a goal where they want 10, 15 different models. They're really all gonna just do it last minute, huh?
Yeah, I think. Oh, look at the Mach-E. The Mach-E was start to finish 12 months.
It's
once it was announced and into production. So there's no reason to pull a Roadster and reveal your car 5 years early.
You guys watch 2023 gonna come around, and everyone's gonna remember that they promised 20 cars for 2025, and woohoo. Ooh, we're not even going to be able to keep up.
Having this conversation with 10 times more cars. I think this year we're going to see, this coming year, we're going to see a lot of cars revealed.
You know what? I feel next year we're going to have this conversation, and it's going to be the same cars.
I hope not.
We're going to get the Mach-E, and that's it. And I'm going to still say I'm excited for the Audi e-tron. And then in 2022, I'm going to say it again. Because some of these cars are just never going to come out. But I hope to be proven wrong.
As always.